What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have something a little bit different. We're going to be reacting to a video. Now, many of you may have seen this. I see it has a lot of views. Many of you may have seen this. Many of you may not have seen it. But today we're going to be reacting to For Honor Sucks, Here's Why. As you guys can see. Now, the first thing I notice is the dislikes. I see 1.1 thousand dislikes on the video, but I also do see 2.4 thousand. So I think like the community is kind of split 50-50 with this video. A lot of people like it, a lot of people dislike it. So we're gonna actually watch this and see exactly what's going on. Let's go. But before we get started, here's a word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Keeps. A lot of you may not know, but every 2 out of 3 guys experiences some kind of baldness or hair loss. But the best way to prevent hair loss, guys, is to do something about it before it starts. Before, you would have to go to a doctor's office and go through a whole process of getting medication to solve your hair loss, but now we have the solution. Now, thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get your hair loss prescription online, and you don't have to leave the comfort of your couch. They make it super simple, and they deliver your medication every 3 months, so you can say goodbye to those pharmacy lines and awkward doctor visits. The treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to see results, so the sooner you act, the more hair you can save. But guys, don't take my word for it. Keeps has a ton of 5-star reviews, so if you guys want to check that out, definitely do so. And nearly 100,000 people use Keeps to prevent hair loss. Guys, if you're noticing that you're losing your hair, please do something about it. Click the link down in the description. That's keeps.com/Kenzo, and you can save 50% off your first order. But that's all, guys. Shout out to Keeps for sponsoring this video, and let's get right to the gameplay. All right, here we go.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy that makes videos that may or may not piss you off, and today we're
Hold
going
on.
to be talking about For Honor.
Do you guys remember this trailer? Let me go back. Do you guys remember this trailer right here? This was from Marching Fire, wasn't it? Yo, this was so hype. I remember everybody was talking about this one trailer right here. Yo, that's nostalgic. Like this was like a really, really big update where we had first got Breach, we had got the Wulin. Granted, you know, people, you know, are kind of 50-50 towards the Wulin. Some people like it, some people don't, but this is a big update, man. This is a huge update. I remember this.
Videos that may or may not piss you off, and today we're going to be talking about For Honor. For Honor is a pretty broken and shattered game. It has fallen into a place where it has become increasingly more aggravating to play.
Okay, I'm gonna let him keep talking.
Also, the atmosphere of this game is pretty toxic, and we are going to talk about why. I'm going to break this video down into 4 parts: the meta, the toxic player base, the matchmaking, and the mechanics. We're going to talk about.
Okay, so these are the 4 topics I guess the video has: the current meta, the toxic player base. And now I experienced the toxic player base. It's like, it's not that toxic, to be 100% honest with you. Most of the times you're gonna have a fine time playing the game, but there are some people that will literally go out of their way to, you know, play a certain way or to do certain things in game, which can kind of annoy you. But I think it just happens to me because people know who I am. So I don't know. It may not happen to you at all. You may think the community is perfectly fine. Maybe it's just me that experiences these type of things. But let's keep going.
About the meta first. The meta in For Honor heavily shifted recently with the big nerf to Raider and the introduction of Jormungandr. Also, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce Jormungandr's name. Is it Jormungandr, Jormungandir? I don't really know, so I'm just going to call her Jorm. Jorm
is he trying to hold on?
Healthy for the game in a few ways. At her core, she is a stamina bully, which is a weird character style to place in a game where we completely rely on stamina to do anything. So fighting Jorm is like fighting someone that doesn't want you to be able to play the game or have fun. Having less stamina reduces how much you can retaliate and combo against a character, which can make fighting Jorm pretty annoying. And of course, let's not forget how heavily Jorm capitalizes on knocking a player out of stam, which is a pretty easy task for her to do. Also, going for a parry on Jorm is almost suicide if the player knows how to feint and guard break. She can also take 2 bars of health in one hammer slam and get an overshield for landing that hammer slam. Yeah, I think that's a bit ridiculous. Not to mention every move Yorm does is pretty much a 50-50. And if you guess wrong, and although Yorm is
Okay, guys. Here's what I think about this. Now, some people are going to agree with me, some people are not, so that's fine. But Yorm is not a powerful character. At the current state of the game, Yorm is not a powerful character. He said it was a 50-50. What is a 50-50? The bash? You can react to the bash. I mean, granted, I guess if you're on console and you're dealing with some high latency, it may be more difficult to deal with the bash, but the bash is not unreactable. And then the lights afterwards, Yorm's lights in general are pretty easy to parry. But hey, let's hear what he has to say. But I'm on the standpoint that Yorm is not a powerful character. I think Yorm is on the weaker side of characters. It's just that you have to play Yorm differently than you would a different character. It's just a different. You have to fight a different way when you're playing against Yorm, and most people don't know how to make that switch, so they just complain. But let's keep going.
probably my biggest problem with this game in terms of a hero. She is only a small part of the problem. Other heroes like Lawbringer and Hitakiri are still problematic in their own ways.
Now, I've come on this channel and I have stressed my frustrations with Lawbringer time and time again, solely for the fact that I play Warlord and it's not a fun matchup when you're fighting a Lawbringer as Warlord. But Lawbringer is not a problem. Neither is Hitakiri. Hitakiri was a lot worse, but now that they changed the hyper armor timing on Hitakiri and slightly nerfed the damage of the heavies, I don't feel like Hitakiri is nearly as bad as Hitakiri once was. Like the character seems fine to me. It's just a pretty strong character. I don't see how these two characters can ruin the game in any way. I don't see how this current meta is a problem. The only problem I have is literally with one move. Is Warden's backstep bash. That is the only move that I do not like in this game. And other than that, I have no problem with any other character.
Both of these heroes have a million 50-50s that punish really hard, as well as having hyperpoise and high health pools. It is pretty much common knowledge at this point that these heroes are extremely powerful, so I'm not going to waste any time rambling on about them. Now, of course, every hero...
Yeah, they're powerful. Yeah, every fighting game is going to have powerful characters, so I mean, you can't really get mad at that. Characters are going to be stronger than other characters. It's just how it works, This is how games are. There are characters that are stronger than other characters.
Hero can be really strong in their own way, but some heroes can do that way easier than others with way less effort. Now, I'm not saying that every player that plays these heroes is inherently bad at the game, because there are definitely some good players out there that play these heroes, but they have created a certain kind of meta that isn't necessarily fun for anyone who isn't playing those characters. For example,
I get what he's saying. What he's basically trying to say is that there are a certain few characters that just largely outclass the rest, and he wishes that the lower characters can compete with the higher tier characters. Which, yeah, I understand. That's just balancing. Which I honestly feel that when we get these testing ground changes to the game, a lot of this stuff will be fixed. Like a lot of it. Though those testing ground changes were so good for the game, and I honestly can't wait for them to come out. So hopefully they come out with it soon. Hopefully next season. But we just gotta wait and see, because right now we're just waiting for that testing ground changes, because I feel like that's gonna really make the game where it needs to be. We'll put the game where it needs to be.
People who like experimenting with new heroes and having some variety in their character choice are going to have a hard time fighting someone who does nothing but play the same meta hero over and over again. I know this from experience. Personally, myself and many others like changing things up pretty often when it comes to character choice. Now put a player like me against someone who plays nothing but Lawbringer or Yorm or any other strong hero for that matter, and knows every mix-up in the book, and knows the exact last second they can feint their attacks to trip you up. Can you guess who would probably win that fight? Of course, it's going to be the guy who plays the same hero all the time.
Well,
Now,
of course,
some people
they
are
have
going
more
to say to
experience.
just play to your opponent's weakness, and for most heroes, there is a flaw that you can exploit. For example, Orochi's dodge attacks are easily parried and can be baited out most of the time. Heroes like Lawbringer don't have a huge weakness, so it's inherently more difficult to counter them, especially with most players playing really passive and reactive playstyles as of late. So why am I elaborating on all of this as if it's a big deal? Well,
The reactive, that's why I say the testing ground changes are a really huge change coming to the game. Like that whole reactive play style, you're not going to be able to do that when these testing ground changes come. You're actually going to have to make reads. You're actually going to have to think, and you're actually going to have to like make an educated guess rather than just waiting for an indicator and parrying. But I see why he's talking about the current state of For Honor. So he does have a point here where the game is very reactive. He does have a point.
because it is. It changes the way people play and treat the game. When there are extremely powerful meta heroes present that don't have a big exploitable weakness, it forces most people into a pigeonhole. Most people are playing nothing but the top tier characters because that's all they can find success with. In their defense, why should you experiment with a new hero when you'll probably just get matched up against a player's main character that's going to wipe the floor with you? And of course, no one wants to lose. I've even seen it with my own friends. They try to play heroes like Shinobi or Orochi and then immediately go back to their main after losing to a Lawbringer 8 times in a row. I've asked myself that question a million times. Why not just main a meta hero? And I think the answer for me is I can't play the same character.
Yeah, me neither. I've asked myself that too many times. Why not just play Warden? Why not just play Berserker or any other character that's really, really good? Why not play Black Prior? I don't know. I just like Warlord.
Over and over again because I find that boring. I don't want to feel like I'm playing Kensei or Warden Simulator. I want to feel like I'm playing For Honor, which to me...
That Orochi tried it. He tried it. He tried to hit him while he was trying to execute, or right when he finished off that other character, and he got wrecked.
is playing every hero the game has to offer, because in their own way, every hero is a different experience. Obviously, some people would rather just play one character all the time, and that's fine, but it does make the game less desirable to people who like experimenting, because most of the time, For Honor is very repetitive. It's the same meta heroes over and over again. Almost every single Brawl, Breach, or Dominion game I get into, there's always a Lawbringer, and usually a Yorm or Hidakiri as well. And I'll be honest, it gets really boring. There's very little variety in the opponents I get matched against, and unfortunately when there is a meta as strong as this, it spreads like a disease. More and more people start playing these heroes because it's the easiest way to fight them. Fight fire with fire, right? But for a lot of people, this makes For Honor get less and less fun to play, and even drives people away from the game entirely. For Honor's player base has slowly withered away as time has gone on, and I think improper balancing of heroes has definitely played a large role in that. The next topic is the toxic player base, and this goes hand in hand with...
Okay, real quick. I don't think the meta is that bad. I think they're doing a great job with the balancing, honestly, in my opinion. I personally feel like if you take For Honor a couple of seasons ago compared to this season, and I'm only talking about balance wise, I'm not talking about content, because we all know due to the current situations, we can't get our updates as we like them, so we can't compare this season update wise compared to other seasons. But I do feel like the game is pretty balanced. I mean, like I said, there are characters that are better, like Black Prior, Warden, Berserker. They're characters that are better than others. But as far as the more of the mid tier characters, they're not as weak as they were before. Like there was a huge gap in between like your top characters. Like just take season 1 for example, where you had Warlord and you had Warden and characters like that. There was like in Peacekeeper, there were leagues and bounds better than other characters. Now they're more closer in terms of viability.
Meta. Players in For Honor are abnormally toxic / mad. There's a lot of hate mail, lots of chat spamming, and lots of toxic play. And by toxic play, I mean exploiting environmental kill zones over and over again, or doing nothing but ganking as a 4-man team.
The only, I see what you mean, but all in all, I feel like to get rid of that, I don't think environmental kills should be a part of duel. That's just me. I think that's more of a a 4v4 thing, you know, environmental kills. I think that's a 4v4 type thing. When I go into a duel, I don't expect to die to a ledge. I expect to actually duel my opponent. But that's just me though. That's 100% me. I guess, you know, I could just go to ranked if I don't want to get ledged. But then again, no one plays ranked. I would definitely go to ranked, but no one plays it. So I just feel like the environmental things, that's not very toxic, especially in fours. Ganking in fours is, I don't see that as toxic. The only thing I really find truly toxic in this game is literally getting one hit and running away until you time me out. That I feel is like the most toxic thing you can do. Just get a hit and then run away using a character that has the fastest walking speed and has the fastest running speed, and then running away, literally running away until you time someone out. That's what I feel like is toxic, and you don't get that much. The hate mail, it comes in any game you play. You get hate mail in any game. Like you could literally load up any multiplayer game, play it for a full 24 hours, like play it for the whole day, and you're going to get some type of hate mail if you really are dominant in that game.
Now I had to ask myself.
I'm making a video, I'll call you back. Making a video, call you back.
Why is For Honor's player base so toxic? It's really simple. We just talked about it. Getting stomped by the same heroes over and over again when you're just trying to have fun gets players worked up and frustrated, which causes them to lash out at everything. Listen, I get it. Losing 7 times in a row to people you know you could beat if they weren't playing that stupid hero is an awful feeling. And that fills up that rage meter pretty quickly. And some stranger out there is going to get a strongly worded message from you because you're upset. Yeah, I've been there. A few times actually. But from the outside looking in, that makes For Honor look like an awful game to get into. When I've asked people why they don't play For Honor, the usual answer I get is, well, that game is too toxic for me and it looks frustrating. And I wish it wasn't that way, but with the current balancing, it's hard not to get upset at this game sometimes. Or all the time. And oh god, the matchmaking. Don't even get me started.
Now this
For Honor's
right here.
Matchmaking is awful. Hands down one of the worst I've ever experienced.
Not the worst I've experienced though, not the worst.
Overall. I don't have a character over rep 8, yet I get matched against people who are rep 5, 20, 200, sometimes even 300 plus overall, and some are playing their max rep main, and some are just little level 1s who just started playing. This is because of a little something called skill-based matchmaking. Ever heard of it? It's like never worked. Ever. Because although maybe our KD ratios and win-loss ratios may be similar, our realistic skill levels could be drastically different. I've been 3-0'd quite a few times in duels, and I've 3-0'd quite a few people in duels, both of which I'm not happy about. Because even if I win and stomp the other player, I know that it wasn't a fun time for that person. I've been in their shoes before. That's not a good fight, that's a blowout. Neither of us are going to come away from that fight as a better player. There aren't many times I've had genuine even skill fights with people. I can count the number of times it's happened on one hand. On top of that, I've had terrible teammates in Dominion and Breach when the enemy team is completely stacked full of really good players. I'd really like to know how that works.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the matchmaking can use a little work.
Because I'm not a game matchmaking analyst. All I know is that this garbage doesn't work. And I think we can all agree on that. Last but definitely not least is the mechanics.
My main thing with the matchmaking is like I play the same people all the time. Like it doesn't even matter. Like if I don't play the game for like 2 or 3 days, I hop back on the game. I play the same people, which I mean is sometimes it's fun because some of the people I do fight are really skilled and it's really fun to play them. But other times you get a person that you genuinely just be like, yo, can I please just play someone different for at least a couple matches? And that's what I run into a lot of the time. So, I mean, yeah, from that standpoint, I do see why the matchmaking does need a little bit of tweaking. And yeah, that's pretty much all the gripes I have. And the wait times can be a bit long.
For Honor's mechanics definitely need some fixing. Fundamentally, they are fine, but they need some tweaks here and there. First of all, revenge is a broken mechanic. Either it works too well, or it doesn't work at all. I find myself asking the question, where's my revenge, quite often.
I ask myself that all the time.
General direction of an enemy player, and they'll get it. Second on the list is the guard mechanics, especially reflex guard. I've talked with quite a few people about this to confirm my suspicions, and they are all experiencing the same thing I am. Blocking will just flat out not work sometimes. I don't know if it's a latency related issue or not, but either way it's awful. For example, I'll be sitting in, let's say, right guard. An attack will come from the same side, and it will just hit me as if I wasn't even blocking. And I've even had friends that were spectating me take note of it and say something before I even mention it to them. Overall, I can definitely say I'm not happy with the...
Now, I see his frustration right there. That's happening to me too. I've experienced that as well, but I don't know. See, I'm not a fours player. I don't play too many fours, so I'm not sure if it's just me not being good enough or if the game is actually like, you know, cheating me. Like I feel like sometimes I block certain things, or I feel like some indicators literally just disappear and then reappear right when they're about to hit you, and it's really, really hard to react to. So I don't know, man. If you're a Force player, let me know how you feel about that.
State of For Honor. Here's to hoping Year 4 balances this game out. We definitely need an Operation Health styled update for this game. Hopefully one day it'll make me want to play it as much as it did once upon a time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please share this around with...
That's pretty much the end of the video. He's getting into his outro. So guys, what do you think? Do you think For Honor sucks? Me personally, no. I don't think the game sucks. I actually think the game is really good. It just like, it has this effect, you know what I mean? Like where you hop on For Honor, you get that thrill, and then once you stop playing it for a long enough time, you'll start to get that urge to play it again, because you just can't get this experience anywhere else. You don't get the same type of gameplay with another game. So that's why I think this game is super unique. I love it because it is unique, and I do not think it's a bad game. I really do think it's good. I feel like once some more of these changes roll around, what I like about Ubisoft though is they keep updating the game. They always constantly update. They don't just leave their games high and dry. They keep updating it. So we may see some great changes coming in the future to actually benefit this game. And who knows, man, it may resurge in popularity. I mean, we've been keeping a good amount of players on the game so far, so you never know what the future may hold. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this video? I understand his points. I get some of his points. Some of them in the beginning were unjustified, like the current meta, that first phase right there, that first bullet point. I feel like some of the things he was saying was just, you know, his frustrations with the game, not looking at it in a more objective sense. He was just his personal frustrations. And I don't really agree with that first part. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Yorm, basically he was saying Yorm broke the game? I don't think so. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I'm out. Peace out. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.